Okay, this is a slightly more advanced maze. This time we created a maze that has multiple levels. So I'm going to talk you through what the differences are between the simple maze and this more complicated one. I'll show it to you working first of all. So if I actually, I'll play it in this mode, but if I click on the start, okay, my timer's still running. I've got my player here. That first level still looks the same. The only main difference is it says level 1 on it now at the bottom. And I've got a pink door that I'm aiming to get to. And when I get to that top door now, instead of finishing, it should take me to another level. This time I've got a slightly different drawing of my maze to get round. It still works the same. And what should happen this time is that when I finally get to what I'm calling my exit now, which is the green door, it should go to this screen. So it tells me that the game's over and it freezes my timer. So let's have a look at the code and see how we've done that. So the main difference is this time, instead of having a sprite acting as the background image, I've actually got 3 different backdrops. So normally in the last game you had one plain backdrop which was white and we just put an image over the top of it. This time I've actually turned the backdrops into these 3 views. So basically I've opened up a backdrop and I've used the edit tool here and I've painted my maze and I've used the text tool and put them directly onto the backdrop rather than as a sprite. So I've done that. I've called level 1, level 2, and I've got one which is hearts. Now the hearts one is just a picture I've got by opening up the gallery. It shows it from the library, and then I type some text over the top using this text tool here. So that's the main difference first of all. So now we've got 3 sprites. My Pico sprite has still got the majority of the coding working in it, but there's some changes to the code now, and I'm going to highlight those for you. So the bit in the middle, each of these which controls each of the arrow keys, is pretty similar. The only thing I added in, which wasn't there last time, was I've got to change the costume and I've played a pop sound, but basically they're the same as they were before. However, what's different here is the fact that now we're using more than one backdrop. It needs to know when to use each one. So the very first piece of code here says switch the backdrop to level 1. Okay, so it puts it to level 1 to start with. It positions my little man in the same place like it normally does. Let's go back and show you, make sure we're on the right backdrop so this makes more sense. So it positions my little man down here, but it also shows him. I didn't need the show command before because he automatically showed. But now, because I'm hiding some things and showing some things, I need to know when to have him switched on. So because this code is inside my Pico, my man, okay, it shows him. Then it goes through, does all the normal stuff that we're used to. But at the end now is slightly different. So this time the first if code is saying, am I touching the door? So the door is the pink block that I've got in my first level. So the answer is yeah, if it is, then I switch the backdrop so it moves to the second maze. Okay, and again it positions my man at the beginning of the entrance of that maze. The second if statement here basically asks if I've touched the exit. So basically it's looking to see if I've reached the end of level 2. If I have got to the end of level 2, it does 2 things. It jumps to that level which is called hearts, which is the final level, and it stops everything. So the stop is the same as everything before, but now when it stops the timer, it's going to stop it on this level so we can see the backdrop. Okay, there's a few other things added to this one. Okay, or in fact there's one other thing added to this one, and it's basically saying when the backdrop switches to hearts 2, it hides. So it basically hides my little man so it doesn't show him any longer. So they're the main changes. This code will be on the web page anyway, but this is the explanation of it. The difference is now is that we've got some code in both of our doors. So I've got a door called exit and a door called door. One's on level 1, one's on level 2. The code's very, very similar. The only difference is what things I'm hiding and showing. So my door, when the project first gets opened by clicking, is showing, because on level 1 I want to see the pink door. Okay, but it's saying that when I switch then to level 2, I need to hide it. So I don't want to see both doors on level 2, I only want to see the next door, the green door. Okay? At the same time, when I switch then to the hearts, so I'll go to the 3rd level, I want to hide again. Okay, so it makes sure that none of the doors are showing on that final level. This one's very similar. The only difference is because this is for level 2, the exit's on level 2, when we first start the program we don't want to see that door, but when we switch to level 2 we do see the door, we show it. And the same thing when we go to the hearts level, we hide it. So basically these two are kind of opposites. This is show and hide, this is hide and show, so that we see the correct door at the correct time. And that's pretty much all you need to know to be able to make your multi-level maze. So good luck with that.